And we are rolling. I've lost the books. I don't know where they are. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah. This is Ink and Hue Colouring. And in today's video, we are doing a deep dive into my colouring plans for 2026 and plans for the channel and the direction that I want to take it in. Most of you would know by now that I had a 4-month break from YouTube. I think it was between September and most of January. And then, now I'm back, as you would know. In that time that I've had off, I really just had a good chance just to do some colouring off camera, just to start to reconnect with myself a bit again. Not that I wasn't, but there's a difference between when you're doing something for YouTube and then when you're just completely doing it for yourself. There is a bit of a difference. So during that time, I was able to have a think about things and just hone into some things that I wanted to do differently. So today's video is all about that direction and where we're going to take things in 2026. Now, it looks like the mothership is ascending on my kitchen bench here. This is the light. I can't do anything about it really because this is my kitchen bench top. I film from my kitchen bench. I've got a big island bench which is under a skylight. It's perfect lighting, but unfortunately there is going to be this, so the mothership is here. Like aliens are going to start popping out. So I'm very, very excited for 2026 and the direction that I'll be going in, not just on the channel, but in the other things that I do as well. As you would know, I'm not a full-time content creator. In my other life, I'm actually a music producer and we have a music studio here on our property. So that is my main thing that I do. And I do colouring on YouTube because I freaking love it. So why not do that as well? So last year was my first year on YouTube and it was a whole heap of fun. I really enjoyed developing a style and learning what videos work for me and my audience and what doesn't work. And I even learned what kind of things burn me out and what not to do for this year. So over the last 18 months, I've coloured in a lot of books and I've done a lot of videos. I've really honed in on the style that I like and the artists that I like. Funnily enough, my top 5 artists weren't featured on the channel very much. I think just because I was trying to do everything. I was trying to cater for everyone because for example, there's a lot of people that like Johanna Basford, a lot of people that like Kirby Roseanne's, Hanna Karlzon, all of these amazing artists that I wanted to feature and I wanted to be part of and I wanted to colour in their books. And I feel this year, I'm really just going to focus on the artists whose work brings me pure joy. And it is all centered around one very similar theme. Now, I don't really work well with having too much structure, so I probably won't be doing like project books or making sure that I color in one book once a month, things like that. It's going to be a little bit different. So now for the most parts, these books have been sitting on my shelf, a lot of them uncolored, which has just kind of just happened. I think because I've been trying to do a bit of everything and because I've got so many books and there's so many different artists that I want to try. And so I've narrowed it down to about 4 to 5 artists really. And you'll pick up the theme as I go along. But I thought, let's just chat about the books first because then that's going to be context for everything else. You'll understand why I'm doing what I'm doing when I show you the books. So the first artist that I'm really going to focus on for 2026 is Leila Duly, which probably comes as no surprise to you. I do feature her work in a lot of my videos. So I have 3 books here, Walk in the Woods, Beautiful Planet, and Floribunda Year. Floribunda Year has previously been a full book colour along. I'm going to keep the same theme, but it's probably going to be a full book tutorial along. Because as you know, I really enjoy deep dive tutorial videos. I do have the house to myself during the day, so I can actually spend a lot of time colouring in silence and I can talk to you while I'm doing things. Silent colour alongs not so much for me because I find that I just if I don't talk, I feel like I'm just not doing myself justice. I feel like I really need to talk and just explain why I'm doing things. I had explored a video styles such as the colour along demo and do's, which is pretty much just the same as a colouring tutorial. So I think that's what I'm going to be focusing on. And my first couple of videos that I've done for 2026 were actually just part of this book. They were actually just from the one page, if I can find it. Where are you? Here. They just featured these 2 pages, primarily this page as the demonstration and this as the example. So with Leila Duly's work, because it's so intricate, I will be focusing on more doing video series, and I suppose for all of these artists that I'm going to show you, more of a video series. So we could do 1 page, but it might be over 4 or 5 videos, or even the video might be just focused on one particular flower or a couple of flowers. I really want to just give the pages justice and do deep dives on them. The reason why I've picked Leila Duly, I mean, I already do a lot of her stuff, but I just love her illustrations. I love the detail. I love the paper. Specifically, the paper is so thick. And you can really throw as much, well, not like a whole heap. You can put water on this and it's not going to warp and it's not going to bleed through. This is really good paper. So I'm really enjoying the way my coloring style has evolved really suits her work. So I really enjoy putting watercolor down first, whether it's Inktense or whatever it is, and then layering over the top. I really like the effect that you can achieve. And this paper is just really good for that. And it takes a lot of things so well. And you've got the option of doing huge double page spreads, and we've also got the option of doing some smaller ones as well. I get a lot of comments about my Leila Duly work, and some of the top comments is number 1, you guys are so happy to see Leila's work featured on my channel because not a lot of other channels do it. And the other comment that I get is that you've got the books, but because they're so intricate and detailed, it can put you off a little bit, and they've just been sitting in a cupboard and you're now like, oh, I'm inspired to try, which is amazing. To me, that's my goal. That's, for me, is life made. If I can inspire you to try, I've done my job. If I can inspire you to pull something out of the cupboard, whether it's a Leila Duly book, whether it's some art supplies or something that you've been too scared to start, if I can get you to pull those out, have a go, start having a play, then for me, yeah, I've done my job and I'm happy. Now, like I said, that these won't be project books as such. They're all just going to be on rotation, and I'm going to colour in them as I feel like it. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before, but I just really feel, gosh, look at this one, it's so detailed. If I have too much structure, I feel really enclosed, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm limited. If I were to have set books, I feel like I've got no creative movement. So for me, I really just have to pull from a pool of books and go, this is mainly what we're focusing on, so to speak. I'm just looking at this. This is so detailed. Look at this. You could do gel pen with that, or you could actually just do that with watercolor. That is one that I'm keen to actually do a deep dive in. So yes, that is Leila Duly. And they're and again with a Floribunda year as well. So this will be a full book that is on the channel. And like I said, probably moving from color along more towards a tutorial. So as you know, I love my florals. And when I do floral videos, they're probably the most popular videos are the floral ones, which is a win because I love coloring leaves and florals. Okay, moving on to my next favorite artist that I'm going to focus on for this year. And this one is probably my personal favorite. However, it's the least popular topic. And they're the videos that whenever I post them, they absolutely tank, but they're my favorite videos to make. So I don't care about the analytics. I'm just going to make them because I love them. And that is portrait coloring. And that is Christine Karen. I am obsessed with these. I have her 3 latest publications. I'm not really familiar with how she used to publish before these 3, but we've got Wildflower Folk, Little Folk, Wildflower Folk, Little Folk, and Wondrous Folk. Over the last couple of months, I've been smashing through these. It's just been something about them. I think, again, the way my coloring style is evolving is it's allowing me to color freely and just have all the pencils in front of me and just dive in. And these books are great too, as you know, because they are, oh, there's one. There's one. I think I did that off camera, September or, Yes, that was September last year that I did that. So that's just one example. And I've got one cheeky one at the back there, but I'll show you when I do my completed pages videos. Because they're single-sided, you can throw a lot of mediums at it. You don't necessarily need to worry about, or you don't need to worry about bleed through. And the paper is just so thick as well that you're not going to get a lot of bleed through either. You can get a little bit of warping, but you can flatten it out with a heavy book, really. So for me, I feel the most creatively free when I'm colouring in these books. I don't know why. I think it's probably just the subject matter. Like I said, anytime I do portrait colouring, for some reason the videos absolutely tank. Maybe you guys are feeling a little bit scared about doing portraits, or you're just not into it. That's fine. I love doing them, so I'm going to keep making the videos. Now, I was talking before about doing a video across, or doing a whole page across four videos. The latest one that I'm doing is onyx. And so we did the skin in one video, and the next video is going to be the hair and the eyes, and then we'll look at the clothing, and then we'll look at the background. So for me, this whole page is on mixing your pencil brands, which is what I do now. I don't just go brand by brand. I mix them. They're in cups. If you want to find out more about why I do that and how I've come to that decision and conclusion, you can head to that video. It is my latest release. But I think I'm going to do more of that as well, like I was saying with Leila Duly. So we might pick, for example, we might pick this mermaid page and we might break it up over 4 videos rather than doing one big one. And this allows me to actually just sit down and talk with you about why I'm doing it, what I'm doing, and unpack it, and really just get into the nitty-gritty as well. So I know that a lot of people do like silent color alongs and things like that. Like I was saying, I'm probably not geared towards that. I'm a little bit different. I feel like I just need to talk. I could color something and I'm like, oh, that'd be a really good thing to show. And I just get really passionate. And if I don't talk about it, I feel like I'm holding in a sneeze. So yeah. So really just, yeah, like we've got some big ones like this we can do. And I'm just so interested in going hammer and tong with different color combinations for skin, and really just learning to not have set color combinations when it comes to skin, really just learning how to layer it myself and figure it out, which I can. I'm getting there. This one I made up. I did scribble out the colors first just to make sure that they were the type that I wanted. Like I just scribbled them separately. And so I'm keen to do more of that. So Christine Karen is my next artist. Okay, so my third artist, and I've chosen this because they're some of my most favorite illustrations, but I haven't colored in them yet, but I plan to. I've got some pages tabs and I've got plenty of things planned, is Maria Trolle as well. And I have 4 books. So I've got Fairy Tale Worlds, Shooting Star, which was gifted to me, and Luna and Botanicum, which these are in Kmart. If you're in Australia, these are in Kmart for $16 Australian. Amazing. So I have 4 of these now and I've not coloured in them, but I plan to because I'm focusing on the illustrations that make me happy. And these do. These make me extremely happy. These are gorgeous. And I've marked out a few, and I like that we've got littler ones as well. So you're not committing to this whole whopper page. And then if we look at Botanicum as well. Oh, and I just love that we've got this type. So you can really just, we've got the black ink background. So you can really just do some stuff that makes, you know, like the colors pop. I'm really excited to play around with this. I'm interested to see what pencils go well with this paper. In the comments, if you love these type of books, if you love Maria's books, let me know in the comments what pencils you think works. Like I've been saying in my other videos, I don't really colour by brand anymore. More on that later. So I will just be throwing a whole lot of things at it, but I would love to know what you think works. So we've got lots of different ideas. So for me, anything, so we've got a bit of a theme going here, don't we? So we've got the whimsical, the florals, the magical, the fairy tale stuff. That this is what I love. This is what I love to do. And I think I haven't coloured in it yet because I haven't really been in the headspace. I've really adapted my colouring style to suit these pages, and it's only now that I'm really getting confident to start to dive in, because I was very used to one way of colouring and now I'm doing it a completely different way. And not that the way that I'm doing it is better, it's just different, it's just changed. I'm just in another lane now. So I'm really looking forward to just playing around with those. So I have 4 books, so Botanicum, Shooting Star, Fairy Tale Worlds, and Luna 2. So 4 books. If I come across any more, I might add some more, because these are just great to have on the shelf. They're so beautiful. They've got this beautiful, I mean, you would know, a lot of you probably have these and you're like, Sarah, this is old news, but this is new to me. So I just, so good. They're just beautiful. They're gorgeous on the shelf. Even if I lost both my hands and I was never able to colour again, but I could look at things, I would look at books and I would look at these on the shelf and I would be happy to have these on my shelf. I think they're an art piece even when they're uncoloured. They're just beautiful. I've been saving a lot of ideas on Pinterest as well, so I'm very keen to dive in. I think I put them off because I was just doing other things, and I really just wanted to get in the right headspace to dive into these. So that is the 3rd artist that we'll be focusing on. Again, we'll circle back to all of these once I've shown you them all. The next one is another untouched colouring book. Again, it's one of those ones that sits there on the shelf and I look at it, I flip through it, I love it so much. Is Fairy Tales and Folklore. I absolutely love this. It's gorgeous. I have picked, this is a page that I'm going to do next off camera. I haven't coloured in this book yet, but again, it's another portrait. I don't know why, I'm just drawn to them so much. I'm really looking forward to, now I've done some, I think, based on my research and what other people are saying, polychromos work really well in these books. So I will be using polys, and I'm going to base a lot of it in watercolor as well and just mix the colors and go crazy. So I'm thinking a lot of oranges, pinks and yellows for the flowers, and just like really spring colors. And her hair, like when I look at her, brown hair. So we'll do something with that. She looks like, it's her and another chick in one of the Christine Karen's books that look like Mila Kunis a little bit. I'm just like, yeah, that's why I probably think her hair's brown. But just gorgeous illustrations. And I know, again, I'm so late to the party with this. I understand. I know that there's a lot of other channels that do feature this book. But for me, it's not about, for me, when I choose books, it's not about who else is doing them. Is it trending? It's not about that. For me, the book has to spark a specific emotion. It has to really speak to me creatively. And if that means that I'm out on a ledge and I don't colour it for 6 months because I have to think about what I'm going to do, then that's how it's going to be. But this book really speaks to me as well. I think it's just the way that it's actually put together. It's another hardback book. I love hardback books, and just the gold foiling. It's beautiful. It's so generous. It's really thick. Again, I know I'm late to the party with this, but whatever. I'm traditionally a person that, I'm quite late to the party with things, but I'm bringing snacks, right? Okay, the next featured artist of 2026 and potentially beyond. You're probably wondering where the gap is. Like, when were you going to feature this artist, because you bang on about them all the time? And that is Hanna Karlzon, of course. Why not? And we have the other ones here as well. So I generally store them in the Tales of series and then the bigger, older ones. How many have I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 Hanna Karlzon books. I think this is the most that I own. this is my biggest collection in one artist. Again, for all the reasons like I was saying before, I love Hanna's stuff because it's that magical, whimsical, that there's portraits in it. It's got this like feminine quality about it, and I just love it. I love the artistic expression that she has, and I actually think Magical Dawn is my favorite. So I've got all of them, all of her publications apart from Godule, the Halloween one, and Grains of Gold, but I've got the rest. So there's Magical Dawn, Seasons, which I believe is not really in print at the minute. Spirit Animals, which is uncoloured for me. Jewelry Box, Summer Nights, and Daydreams. And then when we look at the little ones, we've got Tales from Atlantis, City Among the Stars, Witch's Cottage, which is uncoloured, Midnight Masquerade, which is my most coloured, and Forest Kingdom, which is uncoloured. So a lot of uncoloured books. Again, I've just been kind of waiting for, traditionally, so with Forest Kingdom, I was just going to treat this as I'll do other colour alongs from other creators, and I'll follow them, but I haven't, and I'm glad that I haven't because I really want to add my own flavour to this, and for all Hanna's work, really. So yeah, this is completely uncoloured. So again, I haven't touched them because I've just been waiting to be in a certain creative space, which I feel like I'm now getting in. Okay, so I can't really fit all the books in the shot. I could zoom out, but so this is the focus. This is the focus. It's these artists. So I've got Maria Trolle, Hanna Karlzon, Christine Karen, Emelie Lidehäll Öberg, and Leila Duly. That, to me, again, they've all got a theme. And apart from Christine's and Leila's, they're all hardbacks as well. Anything that's published by Gibbs Smith, you know? The other reason why I like them as well is because they just look like storybooks, even uncoloured, that they look like children's storybooks, and it's just something so nostalgic about it. So it's my focus for this year. It's just whimsical, dive in with all your colours, you know, just have a crack, all of that. And so my channel direction really will be based on these books. So like I was saying, I'll mainly be doing colouring tutorials, deep diving, and if it's a detailed matter, it'll be done over a series, and I'll do my best to actually group a series in playlists. So it'll literally just be like, in terms of the title, it'll be like colouring tutorial, subject matter, book. It's going to be really obvious what it is, and it's either going to be, okay, like we're focusing on colouring flowers, or it might be focusing on watercolour or a particular thingy, or like another subject, for example. And then with completed pages, I'm probably going to do them quarterly. I do keep track of what I colour just in terms of the page count and which book it was in. If I get to the 2-month point, say, for example, if I get to January and the end of Feb, and if I've got like 15, 20 pages, then I'll probably do like a 2-month video rather than quarter, just so the video is not like hugely long. The problem that I found for me personally with monthly and the way that my brain worked is I felt like I had to smash out a whole heap of pages so that I would have enough content to actually show you. And that wasn't good for me and my brain and my stress levels. I can't do that anymore. So there's sometimes where I'm not really motivated to colour much. And if I do it because I feel like I have to just, you know, churn out some content, for me, that is really damaging, and I can't do that. I will be doing product reviews as well. I've actually I'm changing the way that I do those as well. I'm not taking on as many because I do want to focus on the tutorials. I'll do product reviews. I mean, I've always done product reviews for things that I've, you know, genuinely really want to try, and I think it'd be fun. But I feel like I've done enough product reviews now to really understand what I like, what I don't like. For example, I keep getting asked to do product reviews for more alcohol markers and more acrylic markers. I don't use them enough to really warrant having more than a couple of reviews up on my channel. I've got heaps of acrylic markers. If I do any more reviews on acrylic markers, I'm just not going to use them, or I'll just give them away because, yeah, I don't use them. And I don't actually use them to their full potential either. So I do have a review that I'm going to be filming in the next month or so for a couple of mediums that I do use a lot. And I do, if I find they're good, I plan to keep them and use them a fair bit. So I just wanted to show you probably one of the page that I'm going to do in the review is this one. And I've got a couple of products to review on this page. This is another chick that looks like Mila Kunis as well, the actor. Another one. I'm like, why do I keep seeing her everywhere? So I've marked that for that. So I don't always do colouring planning monthly. Maybe I'll just stick with the yearly. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you like planning videos. I know that it can help drum up some inspiration and stuff, and it helps you to get your supplies ready and things like that. If you are someone that's maybe interested in quarterly planning updates, post them monthly, let me know. I can certainly do them if you like, you know, because it's not just about me here, it's also about you guys. So in terms of upload frequency, I'm aiming for 1 a week if I can. If I'm starting to feel like this that's pushing it a bit too much, then I'll back it off. So I'm really just going for sustainability. I know that the YouTube algorithm loves more, but I can't sacrifice myself for the algorithm. I have to make the algorithm work for me. I used to always, I don't know, it's like you can easily get caught up in being a slave of YouTube, but I'm like, no, YouTube is there for my fulfillment. I'm not there to fulfill it. So, and I know you guys will understand that as well. I know you guys just love whatever videos I put out and it doesn't matter when or where. So, okay, so you might be wondering, well, what about your other books? Like, what about your Johanna Basford, your Kirby Roseannes? Yes, I still will be colouring in those. I do have a few video ideas for some of those. I'm not just going to exclusively do these artists that I've shown you today. They'll probably be like maybe 70 to 80% of the content. I will have other artists as well. For example, one of the books we were looking at of Kirby Roseannes was Fragile World, and the challenge for me was I was going to do this cover to cover, and it didn't matter on the page. It didn't matter what was on the page. I was just going to dive in and do it. So we started off here with the title pages. Oh, love that flower. And we went through, that is a tutorial up on the channel as well. And the next one was this. I do not know if I want to change tack, whatever it is, and just make it a book that's featured on the channel, or if I still want to do it in order. I don't know. The downside of doing it in order is when you come up to a page that you don't like, you just like, you put it off and you don't touch the book. So I don't know, but I'm happy to do it in order if you guys still want that. I'm also happy just to do whatever. So like, for example, I would love to do this page, whether I just dive in and just, this is, you know, if this is one of the main Kirby books that I focus on. I like this book as well because it's all fairly tame. It's all fairly nice. It's all fairly, I mean, like it's detailed, but that's a colour along too. That was one like an early colour along that I did. Yeah, they're all fairly tame. They're all fairly like that. There's really no, what I kind of like about this book is there's kind of no horror element to it, which is nice. But yeah, it's all kind of sweet and stuff. So I'm happy to, yeah, I will be doing more of this book, and I'm happy to tweak the way that I do it that suits you guys. So let me know in the comments. But this book was when I did a vote to do a cover to cover challenge, or like to feature more Kirby on the channel. You guys voted for this book, so this will be a main book as well. I'll probably just throw this in with the rest of the books that we've just looked at today. And again, I will adapt these pages to suit my colouring style. And so just quickly on Johanna Basford, if I do decide to feature some of her books, they will most likely be her older stuff. So I'm talking about World of Flowers, Magical Jungle, Enchanted Forest and Secret Garden. I really like these. So I'll mostly be featuring the older stuff. Some of her newer stuff, probably not. I've got them. I might do them if the inspiration strikes, but I really love these ones more, and I don't see them a lot around. You see Magical Jungle around a little bit, but not so much Water Flowers. So yes, these 4 are probably what you're going to see potentially, is what I'm thinking. I do need to get a copy of Lost Ocean. I need to, need to find a copy of that. I'm actually waiting for the 10th anniversary edition to come out, which I have no idea if it is. I haven't heard about it. I'm hoping that there is a 10th anniversary coming out, because if there is, I will be grabbing that. So if you saw my last video on mixing your pencil brands, you would have heard me bang on for about half an hour as to why I don't just color by brand now. I have all my pencils are in cups, and they're in color families. And you maybe would have heard me mention as well, I'm having issues with the Prismacolor quality, and that is just me. I know a lot of people love Prismacolor. The more I'm using other brands, the more I'm like, I think I've got to break up with Prismacolor, which I know that sounds massive, but I think, like I was saying, I'm just going to start to move away from it a little bit. There are still a lot of elements about it that I love, but rather than have the whole 150 set, I'm probably just going to keep a handful for things like skin tones, and I really like their reds and their oranges, so I'll probably keep those. But in terms of the mediums, it's probably more so going to look like this. So we've got a different mix of pencil types here. So I've got a Derwent Coloursoft, I've got a Derwent Drawing, I've got a Polychromos, I've got a Derwent Inktense, I've got an Albric Dura, and I've got a Prismacolor. So we've got watercolor pencils, oil-based, and wax-based as well. So previously, I was just all about the wax-based, and then a lovely subscriber gifted me the Polychromos, and it just opened up to a whole new world of pencils. And the more other YouTubers that I've watched, the more that I've branched out in my own creative exploration, the more I have realized how good other brands are. So yes, Prismacolor have good things, but the quality drives me nuts, and I'm annoyed that certain colors are just so bad. And so I think I know for a lot of you, it might mean that when I do tutorials, it might get a bit confusing because I'm using different pencil brands all the time. But like I've said in my last few videos, I encourage you just to do your best to color match it. When you see it, have a go at color matching with your own set. You'll be better at it than you think, I promise. There also might be a whole bunch of you that are like, thank the Lord, we were waiting for other pencils to be represented more on YouTube because everyone loves Prismacolor. So this could go both ways, but I've really got to do what's best for me. I've got to be true to my own coloring style. I've got to use the pencils that I love, because that's going to produce better content and better work. And I am planning on, so with the Prismacolors, the colors that I want to replace, I might replace the burnt ochre. Oh no, that's it. That'd be a good flesh tone to have, so I might keep that. But for example, if I run out of, say, a Prismacolor green, I'm probably just going to replace it with a Derwent Coloursoft, a Derwent Drawing, a Derwent Lightfast, the Pro Color, or even a Caran d'Ache pencil. So I don't buy full sets anymore. I do have my eye on a couple of smaller sets, but I don't buy the complete range. So I don't think I'll ever have 150 Prismas again, which it's just the way that my coloring journey evolves. The only ones that I will have the full set of are the Polychromos, because I love them to death. They are my favorites. If I had to save them in a fire, I would save these. And I would also save the Chinese white. I would save that. So, and in terms of other mediums, watercolor, you can use these dry. I'm looking forward to trying like watercolor paint as well. So like not metallic watercolor paint, but just your normal stuff. In terms of other mediums, I'm also very keen to try pastel pencils as well. I know that there's different types of pastel pencils out there. So for example, I think the Derwent pastel pencils are more for your softer looks and you can blend with them and things like that, whereas your Pitt pastels in the Faber-Castell are more hard, so you can do finer work with them. So I'm keen to try some of those. Again, I won't buy a full set. I'll just get some colors that I like and I might add to them over time if I feel like I need to. So I'm actually just keen to stick for the most part with pencils. Yes, I've got distress inks. Yes, I've got pan pastel and I've got soft pastel sticks. So I actually don't know if you've seen these, but yeah, pastel sticks. I just purchased a set off Amazon, these Mungyo ones. Yeah. Love how the mothership is over this as well. Yeah, I just purchased a set of these. That's all you need. I can mix and match with those. So playing around with those, but honestly, I'm not going to go crazy with trying too many. My camera is not auto-focusing today, sorry. I am not going to be going too bananas with all these different mediums. I'm really not. I think I'm just going to stick to what I have. I'm happy to try new things if they come across my path and if I think it's a good idea, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to be using a whole lot of other stuff. It's just not the style that I'm going after. Again, just going after the whimsical style, the floral, the more feminine. I'm probably more going after that stuff. And I can never get this back on the sleeve, Sarah. So yeah, I don't really have, in terms of, are there any like top techniques I want to try this year? Not really. For me personally, if I start having too much of a list of things I want to tick off and do, then I start getting muddled because I might just change my mind. For me, I've really got to do it at a macro level. I have to be super like, these are the collections of books that I want to, go with. And for example, this is the type of stuff that I want to do. Like that's as macro or as micro as I can really go. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I'm going to try and stick to this as much as possible. Like I've said, I've really just spent the last however many months really just refining my taste and taking it off into another trajectory, just that's a bit more true to me. And again, like not that everything wasn't, like not that 2025 wasn't me, it was. I've just realized that I just want to take it somewhere different. That's all. And if you'd seen some of my 2025 stuff and then looked at this, you'd be like, oh, that's really different. So yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at. Now, a couple of frequently asked questions that I get is, number one, do you do color combinations? The answer is no, I don't. I don't color that way. I used to, but I don't anymore. I don't have set color combinations that I go in with pages with. I make it up as I go, and that's just, I really have to Mr. Squiggle it. And if you watch Mr. Squiggle when you were little, you know what I mean. But yes, no. So I don't do color combination charts or anything like that. I also think that there are plenty of YouTubers that do them exceptionally well, and I don't feel like I need to add to that because they already nail it. I also get asked if I have Facebook groups and things like that. The answer is no. Again, I've got an Instagram, I just don't post on it, which means that if there are pages that I complete off camera, and then when I do my completed pages videos, you guys get to see them for the first time, and it's exciting. So yeah, there's going to be some surprises. But yes, no, I don't. I've got Instagram, but I'm not actively on it. I cannot manage multiple platforms at once. YouTube is the only one that I can manage. So I know it might, like it's not ideal because you're probably used to seeing other creators being all over everything. I just can't do that. I don't have the capacity for that. I don't have the mentalness for that. So you can follow me on Instagram, but the best way to stay in touch is here on YouTube. The only thing that I don't like about YouTube is you can't DM people. So, but I think they might be looking at bringing that back. I've heard If they do, that'd be wonderful. My email and contact details and Amazon wish lists and stuff like that are in all my videos and on my main page if you're interested in looking for more details. The email is for like business inquiries and things like that. So that is it for our 2026 plans video. Thank you so much for joining me today. And yeah, I'm really hoping that you are as excited about these books as I am. So Leila, or about these artists, I should say. So like I said, Leila Duly, Fairy Tales and Folklore, Emelie Lidehäll Öberg, I should say. We'll chuck A Fragile World in there, why not? Christine Cameron's books, Maria Trolle's books, and who else have we got? Hanna Karlzon. Yeah, over here. And then all of Hanna Karlzon's books as well. So I do plan on treating them all fairly, all the artists. I'm not really going to favour one particular book of theirs if I have multiple. It'll just be all of their books. So if you don't have all of their books, don't worry. I'm sure there'll be a book that I colour in that you'll have in your collection, I hope. But I would also love to know what your favourite book is from these artists. Who is your favourite what is your favourite Hanna Karlzon book? What is your favourite Christine Cameron book? Leila Duly, Maria Trolle, Emelie, and from Emelie as well. I would love to know what your favourite books are so I can make sure to definitely have those on the channel at some stage. And yes, I will still be featuring other artists too. So have a good day, guys. I will see you in the next video, which is hopefully coming very soon. Bye-bye.